Hey everybody, this is Cody from Lazy Goblins with another video in the Rollerball with Bolt tutorial series, and in this video we're going to get the score to be not only kept track of, but to be displayed within the game itself. So as the player picks up the collectibles, then they will be able to see their score on the screen, and it will be able to be kept track of. And it will just be, good so the player knows, hey, what's my score? I don't know, I can't keep track of all the collectibles I roll over. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do, let me delete this real quick. First thing you're going to want to do is we're going to want to go into our coin, go into our collectible flow machine flow macro, flow graph. We're going to take these, we're going to move them over just a little bit. And we're going to create a scene variable. Now this variable is shared across the current scene, so anybody in this scene can access it, and we're going to just call it score, and it's going to be an integer because it's a whole value. And that's all for that. We're going to go alt click, drag it in, and we're going to want to set the variable right now. So take it from the branch, connect to the set variable because we're setting the score variable, and then drag this over to the destroy. Now click and drag and get the score variable, and then right click, add unit, and start typing add because we're going to want to add 1. So each time a collectible is ran over and collected, we want to get the current score variable, and we're going to add 1 more onto it. So then you just right click, add unit, and you're going to want to type int, and you're going to want the int literal. So int literal is basically just, you can type in whatever number you want. It's not a variable, it's just a node for a literal int, and we're going to put 1 into that. Then we're going to drag the add up to the score. Alright, now hit play, and then we're going to go to our game. We're going to go to the scene variables right here. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Perfect. So it keeps track of all the collectibles that we ran over, and it keeps track of the player's score. But the only problem is we're not seeing it. The player is not going to know. If you go to build this game out, the player doesn't have access to the Unity editor, so they won't know what their score is. So what we're going to want to do now is right click, go to UI, go to TextMesh Pro Text, and then import the TextMesh Pro Essentials. Just wait while this imports. Perfect. Alright, we got that. Now click it, type in score, and hit F on the score so it focuses in on it, and then come up here and hit this 2D button. It goes into the 2D view. So this right here, you can barely see it, but it's right there in the middle. If you click, press W on your keyboard, click it, and drag it up, you can kind of see it a bit better. Over here, we're going to just type in a 0 because that's going to be their initial score. Can expand this out a bit. Come down here, increase the font size, and it's going up and up. Come here to alignment and just center it, just so it looks a lot better. And we could barely see it again, so I'm going to change the color to a bright yellow that kind of matches the collectible. And then it's still hard to see, so we're going to come down here to the material, check mark the outline box, increase that, and we could see it a lot better now. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to drag mine to the top. I think that's a good font. I think that's good everything. Perfect. And then you can click this anchor box, hit Alt and Shift, and it will anchor it to the top. So if you expand it, it'll always, if the ratio change of the screen, it'll always stay anchored to that top center right there. Alright, so now we have that. We have our score text, right? You can even call it score display, whatever you want. Now how do we get it so that every time on this collectible, every time it's collected, it updates that score. These are two totally different objects, right? So how do we do that? We could do this by what's called custom events. Now I'll share a link in the description below that is a video more so in detail to about these custom events, so you understand them a lot more. But basically, we're going to drag off from the set variable. We're going to type in custom event trigger. We want the trigger custom event, so it'll trigger this event. And right here, here, I'll full screen this so you can see better. Right here, just type update score, whatever you want your event to be called. And now it wants what game object this basically, how do I put it, is going to be the game object where we're going to say, hey, this game object, trigger this event. So what we're going to need for that game object is our TextMesh Pro text, or score display text that we have. So come to scene, create another variable, call it score UI. We're going to make that a game object and just drag and drop your score display text into that slot. Click that, bring it out, connect it right there. Expand this, and that is all we need to do in this collectible graph. So it's going to check if the tag is a player, has ran into its trigger. If it's true, it's going to get the current score variable. It's going to add 1 to it, and then it will set the score variable, and then it's going to send a custom trigger event of update score to our score UI, and then it's going to destroy. So this is perfect. This is good. Now we're going to come to our score display, add a component, a flow machine, come to our project, come to our macros folder, right click, create, bolt, flow macro. We're going to call this score display underscore UI, just so we know that it refers to a UI element. Drag and drop that into there, edit graph, and let's expand this. Alright, now right click, typing custom event, and right here we have this one, custom event. You're going to type in the same string or text that you called it in the collectible flow graph, which is update score. And now what we're going to want to do, actually this before we add on to this and make it functional, we have to go to Tools, Bolt, what was it? Unit Options Wizard, Tools, so up here, Tools, Bolt, Unit Options Wizard. And you're going to come all the way down, you're going to hit the plus, I already did it, but hit the plus, and click this drop down and start typing in TextMesh Pro, and you want the first one, Unity.TextMeshPro. Once you have that, you hit next, come all the way down, hit generate, it'll generate it all. I already did it, so I'm going to skip through this. Alright, so everything's all in there that we need. Drag off of the custom event, go TextMesh, Mesh Pro, and you want the TextMesh Pro UGUI, just click that. And we're going to come all the way down till when you see set text, just get the first one. Boom. Go back to your scene variables, see the score, click and drag it in. And then from the score, you're going to want to drag off, and we need to turn this into a string because right now it's just an int. You need to turn it to a string so that way it will be able to read it. So we do that, and right now we have everything going. It should work. Fingers crossed. Hit play. Come into the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And there you have it. You now know how to update UI. And the whole reason why we're using the custom events is because it's a lot better than going onto your score display, creating an update, and checking every single frame. Hey, let's keep updating the score display when we really haven't updated it and the score hasn't changed at all. So there's really no point in checking it every frame. So what this custom event does is, all it does is it says, hey, on this game object, send this event. I want to trigger this event at this moment and only at this moment. So when it will only trigger once the player actually collects and runs over a collectible or a coin or whatever you need. That's the only time it will trigger, and then it will come in here. It'll say, okay, here's the custom event we're going to send off, and here's our code, which is the text mesh pro. We get the score variable, we'll turn it to a string, and then we set the text of the score. That's it. It's not running every frame. It's not, doing a whole bunch here. And then even if we didn't have this in here, right? If we uncheck it and hit play and we go and run over stuff, there's no errors being thrown. There's nothing wrong. It still runs as normal. So it's not really dependent on anything. So if we want to use this collectible flow macro, right, in another game, and we take it and we put it in there, there's nothing that's really being dependent on anything. We don't have to keep dragging, different stuff into here. If it's not getting the right thing, it'll just, if it's not getting any events, I don't know how to explain it. But we don't need it to rely on anything. This coin doesn't rely on this Text Mesh Pro score display UI, and the score display doesn't rely on this coin, right? It's just waiting to see if an event happens. If an event happens, then do this. That's all it's saying. That's all it's asking. Nothing depends on one another. But that's it. You guys now have a complete roll-a-ball game, and it'd be awesome if you guys kept going with it. I challenge you guys to make this your own, right? Change out the characters, maybe make more intricate levels, maybe add some particle effects to when they roll over the coins. Just kind of make it your own thing, right? Just take it that extra step. That way you can take everything in this tutorial and apply it. And if you get stuck, it's totally fine. You could ask people in the Bolt Discord. You can Google it. You can even hop into our Discord, which I'll have a link below. It's kind of basic right now, but you could hop in there. You can ask questions there. We'll help you best as we can. But that's it. Try to take this extra step, because that's the only way you're really going to learn, is if you keep applying the stuff that you learned and keep growing and learning more. You run into issues, that's totally fine. Everybody runs into issues when they're making a game. It's just, how do you approach those issues? You need to know when to ask for help as well. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I can't wait to see you guys take the extra step on this one. Like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'm going to try to release another tutorial series. Not sure on what yet. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to let me know. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time.